Hello there and welcome. And if you've seen some of our earlier videos, you'd have noticed that one of them we came across this lovely paradise garden in Spain, and we weren't expecting to see it, so it was a little bit off the cuff, where we try to do some videoing there. And this reminded me of a garden that we go to in England. At the RHS Wisley, they have a walled garden, and it's one that you kind of just walk through it. You don't really notice it too much. It doesn't seem to have a purpose. I mean, it's very lovely. It's been planted well, but it seems to be forgotten, and it's more of the other gardens that Wisley tend to focus on. At least that's what it's my opinion. But I love it. But something sort of registered in my brain. I was thinking, what is the purpose of this garden? And it seemed to me that this walled garden at Wisley, the original intention was to have this as a paradise garden. So we took an opportunity. We went up to Wisley, had a look at this garden, and then myself and Lorna, we kind of argued as to whether it was genuinely a old repurposed paradise garden, or was it just a walled garden that someone designed. Anyway, take a look at this video. Thank you for the intro, Simon, and here we are in Wisley, and we are in their walled garden. Now this walled garden is a little different. Let me show you. So you can see we are in a walled garden, and usually walled gardens tend to be either a garden that's got a perimeter wall around the garden, like an old property, or it's going to be an old kitchen garden, which is going to be a much bigger thing. But the walled garden here is quite small, so it's snug, isn't it? Yeah, so it's been deliberately built for the garden, and that is why, especially when you've got this water feature here, I'm of the mind, and I'm going to argue the point, that this is in fact originally designed as a Islamic style paradise garden. And I'll tell you why. Firstly, because it's walled garden. Secondly, because it's in quadrants. Thirdly, because of this water feature in the centre of it. And the symmetry of the planting.
I'm going to disagree with you.
Go on then.
I'm going to say if it was an Islamic Paradise garden, it would have the rills representing the 4 rivers going through the garden. I mean, you've got it kind of evocative in here, but you would have those running through.
Well, it doesn't, contrary to what I've said in earlier videos, it doesn't need to be a rill of water. It needs to be something that can be something that represents the water. So it's a representation of the 4 rivers of Islam.
Yeah, and obviously there's more fruit, more sort of paradise planted in the sense of fruits, nuts, more lush sort of planting rather than this very ornamental.
Well, let's have a little look around and see if we can build on this idea, and see what actually comes out with the right answer. So when we were in Spain recently, we went to a paradise garden, and again you had it was weirdly offset, because I think where we went through into the garden wasn't the centre, and the gate that was the centre was shut, so you couldn't walk in and get that feeling of symmetry across the garden. But what they had was one main feature, which you could argue that this is sort of like a canal, and then you had a secondary feature, which you could argue that is there, and then a rill between the two. And if you look down, you've got a drain that arguably connects the two together. So you do have the water, you do have the quadrant, you've got a rill, and maybe those on that flooring with the pebbles could be representative of the rivers of Islam. So, but let's have a look at the planting and see how symmetrical the planting actually is. See, because the thing that you said as well was, it had to be, highly scented, lots of flowers, lots of fruiting, and the symmetrical planting of the borders, so they reflect each other. There's a reflection of the quadrants. I know there is some elements of that, because we've got, I think we've got four palms. Got one there, you got 2 over there, and 1 missing here, but then that could have died. You do see that a lot. But let's have a little look around a bit further. So looking to our right, we've got the water feature in the middle, and then you've got these U pyramids reflecting each other, opposite sides, all over the place. You've got You got I think that's an Aurelia over there, and an Aurelia over there, and an Aurelia over there. I think there's a lot of reflection, and right behind you, you've got a weeping ginkgo here,
Yeah.
and a weeping ginkgo there, and then you've got on the floor, you've got that that pebble effect reel that goes off.
Yeah, maybe.
But I do accept that you haven't got the fruit in, you haven't got the flower in.
I do accept that there's a lot of symmetry in the garden, but you'd have a lot of symmetry in, say, a rose garden and a walled rose garden. You would have a very similar sort of symmetry. So, and in fact, in the exotic garden, the way that's laid out, which is the old rose garden actually,
Yeah.
you've got the sort of very central area with the path. But I do admit that the water is running through here, and this could be representative of it. I just think the planting is very horticultural in here.
I think some of the original plants, the specimen plants, I think indicate that this was planted up symmetry. I generally, even more so now seeing the water features, how they're running together, I generally think this probably was originally designed as a paradise garden, but
it does feel completely different.
Yeah.
You know, you do feel completely away from it all. So it's very calm, very lovely. It's a unique garden. I've not felt anywhere like this before. I think it is lovely and completely different from everywhere else.
but it's not listed in any of the literature or online, but I've researched this place to see if this is a paradise garden. There's nothing mentioned about it whatsoever. It might be that I've just missed
Could be
that.
that it's inspired by, I think maybe. But this is the sort of garden, the size of it is something you could recreate in a sort of large back garden. You know,
Yeah.
it's the dimensions are beautiful, and it's something that you could very much have in your own space. So I think that's what I like about it. It's just what they used to call at Chelsea.
Yeah.
None of these wilding gardens, but if you had something like this, it's beautiful.
I mean, we don't know when this garden was built, designed or planted, but you can see with some of these Trachycarpus that they've been here a good 20 years, would you say?
Yeah, probably 30, 35.
Yeah. But a lot of these plantings are new. So what was here originally could easily have died, been replaced, what have you. But I don't think it's being used now as a paradise garden. But I genuinely think that in the original concept for this garden was a paradise garden, and it is absolutely beautiful. It's really pretty. It's only small though, and people tend to just walk through or walk around it. They don't see it, but it's truly a delight, and you should not miss out on this place as you come through. So I think, who won the argument? Is it paradise garden? Is it not paradise garden? Oh, you're refusing to answer.
Oh, I thought you were asking me if you
I'm asking you.
Oh, I've won, of course. I always win.
Well, it's not a paradise garden.
No.
Oh, it definitely is. Oh, well, okay. Well, so we are in disagreement, viewers. I'm just going to swap over. Hold on. So there you have it. I genuinely believe that this was originally designed to be a paradise garden, and it's kind of lost its way a wee bit. And Lorna, she definitely does not think that this is the case. But what I'd like to know is, what do you think? Do you think it's a paradise garden? Do you not? Leave your thoughts in the comments. We would love to hear from you. Anyway, thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.